Hey everybody, it's Kathy P. Welcome back to my channel. How's everybody doing tonight? It's a little chilly down here in Florida tonight. I'm bouncing in between outside, but it's chilly out there, sitting out there in that damn bird cage. My patio. They call them bird cages, but I'm not a freaking bird. But this is part 2 of the EKC live, part 1 that I posted a few days back. It's taken me a few days to get to it. I had it done, and then the recording was corrupt, and it wouldn't play right, so I've got to redo it. But, there's been a lot going on the YouTube streets, and I've been working on other videos. Plus, I do have a family to take care of in the holidays. But, and this is, I believe, Christmas Eve, because she says it's midnight and it's Christmas, and she's streaming. But, hey, at least she's at home, though, I guess. Not like some who spend all the holidays alone, even New Year's and birthdays and stuff in hotel rooms, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to try to do a live tomorrow evening, just a short one. Finally, I'll present the threat I received from Molly to take me down. Yeah, okay. But this is part 2, and it's going to overlap a little bit so I can refresh everybody on, pick up from part 1. But she's going to be going over the messages from the admin, Eve, from the Facebook groups, Justice for Vaughn and Exposing Dre McRae. And we all know what kind of a hot mess that was. So these messages, again, are going to be between Katie Joy without a crystal ball and Eve, one of the admins. And she's going to go into more. I edited a lot of the silence out because she sits there loading her content to present, but she doesn't say anything. And really, doesn't do a whole lot of commentary other than reading word for word of Katie's post. And I don't know, just in my book, that's not commentary. And then when she does make comments, they're really ridiculous. And this is a 2.5-hour boring live. And I still don't know what her point was with Katie, because most of what was said here is facts. So really all she's doing is giving Katie kudos and giving us a refresher on this, because the only one, who's still amping it up about this is Molly, because her views and her content's down. And, of course, spewing all her misinformation. Let's just get into this, because it's a long one, and I want to try to get through it quickly.
All the way over there then. Okay, so here is one of the places where I have the post pulled up to look at the screenshots. So we grab that.
Oh, we know you don't miss anything Katie posts. And you know what, her content, and by the way, this is just my opinion. And it is covered under fair use, Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. These people like to falsely strike channels, so I'm going to probably mention that quite a few times. But it is just my opinions. But her Katie content, she's so desperate for it that she went back to summertime to review everything Katie posted. Now, mind you, none of this was on YouTube. This was all like Facebook and stuff. But, so, because she's dried up with Katie content and desperate, she's been attacking Nonsense for months. And it's killing her that Nonsense won't give her the time of day. It's actually hilarious. She so desperately wants Nonsense to acknowledge her. And I believe when Nonsense wants to, she'll give her some attention, but I don't think it's the kind of attention EKC's looking for. And it'll all be well-deserved, trust me. But yeah, she so badly went after Nonsense because Nonsense was calling Molly out on all Molly's misinformation and outright lies. And she wanted to, pat on the back for Molly. And, her channel's stagnant and her numbers are stagnant because she does nothing but sit on here and sound ridiculous. I mean, she sounds like a junior high school girl reading a note from one of the girls she's having problems with in school, and she's reading it to her friends. It's so juvenile. She sits there making all these faces, and she says stuff under her breath, but you're doing commentary. Don't say it under your breath. She really does need to grow up. It's shocking that she's 48. But anyway, sometimes elevators don't even go to the first floor. Just my opinion. But she wants that shout out from Molly, and she wants Nonsense's attention, and she's not getting it. And she's dried up on Katie content, like I said, so she's desperate. And she's like Charlotte. They don't take in what they're reading because they're so hell-bent on mocking Katie and just trying to call her out on any little thing that they end up sitting there making themselves look really ridiculous. Again, just my opinion. Well, let's just get into this. But I edited a lot of these long pauses out. Not her words, because that way she can't say her words are twisted. But the long pauses of her bringing up content to present, because she doesn't say anything. You know, I'm just a little tiny channel. I'm just starting out. And I'll get there once I'm able to go live and stuff. A lot and do. I can go live, but I can't present like videos like this because I just can't with my iPad. And until I get my new laptop, hopefully the end of next month, then I'll be able to do a lot of lives presenting this stuff instead of just uploading videos, which I'll still upload videos because I do like doing that. But something like this I think will be better live because it is so long and so draining. But let's just get with it.
Have the post.
I'm sure you have all the posts. Probably some that Katie don't even have. You probably know more about Katie than Katie knows about herself. That's scary. She doesn't talk. She's not prepared at all. And I get that it's a lot to present and stuff, but she's not a newbie. Okay, she's not new at this.
So this is from the post that I just read.
Oh, here we go. Finally, are you going to do it? Nope.
Okay. And it says, can you let me know, it's from Eve. Can you let me know when you do?
Eve's one of the admins from one of the Facebook
or are
groups.
you in there and you can post it there too? Oh my God, we knew it. What a fucking lying bitch. The police tried to see him. I don't even swear, but I'm so pissed. Oh my God. Her story doesn't make sense. He had an abrasion on his left arm and burns around his neck. Unbelievable. She has so many people fooled.
And they're referring to Eve, who just swore, who said she doesn't swear, but is referring to Dre. And like I said, these admins, these couple girls, they were involved with Dre under the paparazzi thing. She, selling that jewelry, and evidently it didn't work out for them. So they have an axe to grind with Dre. Mind you, they've never even met Dre or Letitia or any of these people. But just keep that in mind.
That's fair. His mom had a hard time getting the report. Police cannot deny the media.
See what I mean? Look at her reaction with that. She's so immature. And that's one thing I have to disagree with Katie with. But then again, that might be what Letitia Bias, who was Vaughn's biological mother. Again, just to refresh you, Vaughn was adopted as a toddler by his great-grandparents. That's who raised him. That's who his mom and dad was. Letitia Bias was his biological mother, but she was not in his life. Neither was Mr. Jackson, the biological father. They didn't even know Vaughn and Dre's son, and they didn't know Dre. But, yeah.
Personally, I don't care where it comes from. I just want to get it out there. Yes, me too. As long as it comes from me. No,
that's not what was said. I can't. I'm just gonna let it play because she can get you really upset.
I'm assuming?
Not upset,
Yes,
but she gets me mad because she's so juvenile. And she's sitting here trying to mock this whole thing. And this whole narrative was made up by these people. There was no crime. There was nothing here. This was a personal story, a personal tragedy about a young man, a husband and father, ex-Marine, who tried to unalive himself. And it wasn't the first time. But this should have never been on social media. The biological family should have never co-signed the hate and the attacks and the doxing of Dre and Dre's family. There are small children living in that home, and they didn't care that Molly was sending strangers there. But, Molly Denai is now trying to spin all this, saying that she actually accused, I guess, nonsense of editing her voice to make it sound like or seem like she was saying Dre did this. But this is how I found Molly, this whole Dre thing. I watched Molly with my own eyes and heard with my own ears many times of her saying Dre murmured him or killed him or poisoned him or something. She even, I did videos on it. She even accused Dre of stabbing those children. And now she's trying to say she never said none of that. Too late, Molly. There's so many videos out there. You tried to hide them all. If you didn't delete them, you privated them. It didn't matter. They're out there. We all got them. I did videos. Nonsenses did videos. Down the Rabbit Hole News. Rock a lot. I mean, it goes on and on. There, missing puzzle pieces. Kool-Aid. The Hills in the Air. It's out there. And they're not edited. It's what Molly has herself said. What is disturbing is her followers in her chat know she said it many, 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 many times. But yet they're going to support and defend her now, saying she was set up, that it was edited, that she never said that stuff. And this is one of the biggest ones right here, EKC, because she's happy to spew all the misinformation. But it's backfiring her in this because she's reading all Katie's posts word for word, and a lot of what Katie's saying is fact.
Length about this and how to handle this, because I don't want to hurt them. Okay, what do you need from us? Anything? We're here to help in any way we can. Give me a few, and once I post, I'll just ask you to share. Okay.
And your point is? I'm still waiting for your point.
Admins are not in agreement with me posting this. They want to confirm that Letitia gave her blessing. So I reached out to her just to get her to say it so I can get them to relax. Yes, I have her blessing. That will be in the post. I fully believe you. I know.
See what I mean? Look at her. EKC, you are commentating. You don't sit there and say it under your breath and shake your head like a little schoolgirl. Grow the fuck up.
Like, does anyone really believe that?
Well, thank goodness I'm not monetized, because I wouldn't be monetized now, huh?
They are refusing to allow me to share it to the group. I'm shocked. Until we hear from Letitia. I don't know. I think they want to release it.
As we go on to it, you'll see there's actually some truth into that. The groups and Letitia wanted to release it because they wanted to control the narrative. It had to fit their story. They couldn't control Katie and what Katie was posting and saying, so they were trying to do it this way. It's just so, yeah.
I'm talking now to the other admins in the groups, Justice for Vaughn, and Exposing Dre, and they are waiting to hear from Letitia. I'm sorry, I'm trying my hardest to convince them. You can tell them that I have her permission. I did.
She is so juvenile.
You can see we spoke for 2 hours. Because if we spoke for only an hour and a half, then that would be proof that I did not have her permission. But since it was 2 hours, you know I had her permission then.
Are you kidding me? That's what you got out of that? Wow. Wow. Oh my God.
I'm getting
You
pissed,
sound
to be honest,
ridiculous.
at them.
You sound totally ridiculous.
I can't read that.
Oh, whoa. Back up, EKC. Why won't you read those messages of Letitia's? She's not reading the screenshots that Katie posted from Letitia Bias between her and Letitia because it supports what Katie's saying. Because, I'm just learning all this stuff with editing and YouTube and stuff. But all you got to do is zoom in and you can read it. She didn't want to because it's not fitting what she's trying to do. She's sitting here mocking Katie, or at least a bad attempt at it. But she doesn't want to show the facts. And by not, you've seen her gloss over those messages. She's not going to read them either. You could see them.
Well, you definitely posted, I also run the Ultimate Deception. Well, you definitely posted, I also run the Ultimate Deception page. Some I'm gonna post it there, even if these girls want to post in their
you don't
group.
know how to read either. And there's some more messages from Letitia. Read them. Oh, you're not. You're going to pass them. Wonder why.
She's afraid it's another trap. I know. Well, if I was her, I would just go heavily armed with my family members and all roll in there together. She also said it's obvious damage control at this point, right?
Wrong.
Very apparent. I have audio of Letitia calling the hospital that I'm going to release. Okay, yes, I did hear that as well. I can't remember when. I think she must have played out for me a while back. I forgot all about that.
From what I can remember, that call that Letitia Bias made to that hospital was actually on one of Molly's lives. Because Letitia and Molly did all that stuff during lives all the time to pull at people's heartstrings and to keep the donors coming in because they raised lots of money. But the money's gone and Letitia has ghosted Molly. There's never been no lawyer retained. There's never been no court filings. No one has even attempted or went back to see Vaughn. Yet the fundraising went on for months. Even for the Jacksons, the biological father and his wife. But yet no one went back to see Vaughn. All that money raised, not a dime of it went for Vaughn's care, for his children, nothing.
I'm getting pissed at them. We already read that. Hopefully Letitia answers me soon.
You are so confused in your own life. This is much. This is nuts.
These are...
Yeah, you read them. You read them. You're lost.
Not sure why they are bucking up against this. Letitia's not the one that worried about her son's story being exploited. She wants her son's story heard. They are refusing to allow me to share it to the group. I'm shocked. Till we hear from Letitia.
Okay. Now this is where I left off in part 1. And I played this just as a refresher. Now this is where we're going to pick up in part 2. But it doesn't get much better. She continues to read like a little juvenile high school girl and trying to mock Katie, but she actually never makes any points about, any relevant points, I should say. Not about Katie, but she tries to get some points in about Dre, but, okay, yeah, look at where it's coming from.
Alright, and that's the beginning. Okay, so done there. Oh wait, I gotta turn this off. Alright, so back to the 29th.
Oh, you're going to go over every second of every day. We know that. Wow. Like I told you, there's these some of these I could get out, but some of them I couldn't because I didn't want to take the chance of. And I'm just learning all this editing.
Updates from the group
I didn't want to take the chance of messing with her words, and then her saying that, well, they edited my words, so I didn't. But there's a lot of these long pauses where she's getting her content ready to present, which, she's not new at this. So just prepare yourself a little better.
Groups are archived temporarily. No scamming,
True.
no hiding, and no one has been shut down. They need a break. Also, they introduced another YouTuber to the story, Annie from 10 to Life, who has donated to Letitia. Annie covered Sophie.
Okay, this is the Sophie Long stuff with Annie. I don't really want to go down this rabbit hole, so I'm going to try to fast forward through a little bit. But she does say some ridiculous stuff in this comments too. But what else do you expect from EKC? But I'm going to try to fast forward a little bit here, because like I said, I really don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Annie did that. Over the false allegations that his ex-wife's fiance essayed their daughter.
Okay, see, I don't want to talk about... You shouldn't even be talking about that stuff. You don't have to read this. This was not done on YouTube. This was done on Facebook. And... Never mind. It just doesn't matter.
Surprising, because for the longest time she kept saying how he blew the money, how there's nothing left. He needed a new fundraiser to support his hookers and gambling or some shit like that. Seriously, that's what she said.
No,
but
actually, no, it wasn't. Not to that extent, not to that degree. Like you said, some shit like that. You don't even get it right when you're trying to say something.
Now, this aided in the abduction. This is what funded his trip in Mexico. How far does she think 200K can go?
Oh my God. Did she really just say that? EKC, 200 grand can go a long way if you're smart with it. And it can go a long way in Mexico if you're not living it up in one of these overpriced resorts. You just sound really ridiculous. This is the best you can do out of this? Wow.
Because hookers are expensive.
And how would you know that?
Eddie later...
Was you watching Molly's, a.k.a. Kate's, escort show? Is that it? Because, I mean, how do you know he doesn't like these $20 little corner hookers? You don't know that.
Back to the entire story after Kelly's legal team got involved.
Okay, yeah, I don't want to go back through all this. Like I said, this is a rabbit hole I don't want to go down.
Found Sophie was never...
But she...
from delusions. And he also falsely reported that Sophie was... Alright. Sophie's now reunited... Okay. When a mother...
If you guys want to hear any about that, you can go to EKC's and watch it. I just don't want to get down that rabbit hole. What I do know of that whole situation is pretty sick. And it's just pathetic that she's even talking about it, in my opinion.
Oops, sorry, I keep hitting the mic. Sophie's not reunited, but Michael's parental rights were terminated. He is being held in $2 million for bond. Oh, did I share it?
No, see, she don't want to read the stuff that shows facts, that shows that Katie was right about what she was saying. She don't want to do that. Yeah, you want to move on. She says she didn't want to talk about that and she didn't know anything about it, yet she kept talking about it. I fast-forwarded through that part. That's just it. You said you didn't know the facts, and you don't, but yet you kept talking about it and trying to mock what was said. You sound ridiculous.
Both Facebook pages dedicated to exposing Dre McRae and Justice for Vaughn have been archived as of this morning.
That's true.
She just posted that. Neither group is allowing new
Oh,
posts,
but you get
comments,
confused and reread
questions,
stuff.
or adding new members. The pages are effectively archived. This is a very sharp turn of events, giving the momentum these groups were gaining on social media.
Okay, what was going on with these groups, these hate groups on Facebook? Okay, people were getting harassed and threatened and doxxed for asking questions, for requesting refunds. It was off the wall what was going on. And yeah, the admins ran with their tail between their legs and did archive the groups and stuff. Did they ever come back out? Yeah, I'm sure. But it's clear that this was done out of hate. And a couple of these girls had an axe to grind with Dre, whom they've never even met. Just because them working under her and paparazzi didn't work out. Okay.
There have been a lot of questions about Vaughn's medical status. In a Q&A, Letitia Bias said he was still in a coma and had not woken up.
You notice there's messages down here from Letitia, but she will not read them. She will not read none of it because it actually supports what Katie's saying.
Now been in a coma for over 2 months. When someone asked if Vaughn had a tracheotomy, she said that he believes he does have one with oxygen only. Individuals can be weaned off ventilators. Ventilators are high.
Okay, I am going to fast forward a little bit through this because it's...
The patient can wean off high pressure. They can then be moved to a low flow of oxygen. At this point, there is no way to know what level of support Vaughn is receiving.
And your point?
Almost.
What's your point? She's really going to get juvenile here.
Admins are continuing their attacks on me for reporting both sides. This morning, Molly, aka Marissa, is berating my reporting that Letitia is not Vaughn's next of kin. Due to Vaughn being adopted
Are you kidding me?
Due to Vaughn being a fucking adult is what it should say.
No, it's not what it should say. Why are you sitting here trying to mock this? I can't.
Adopted by his great-grandmother. Letitia is not Vaughn's next of kin. This does not mean that she shouldn't be allowed to see Vaughn. No one ever suggested that. See, this is bullshit right there. Because, like, next of kin. If there is no next of kin for a family member, like, there's no legal next of kin, but someone is like a DNA match to that person, like say they're in a hospital, they're in a coma or something, but no one else can claim them or whatever. They do a DNA search or whatever, they find someone. That person is then considered next of kin because it's not just a legal thing.
What? What the hell did you just say? Is there anybody home in your head? Okay, number one. Do you know how expensive and how much time it would take for them to try to track somebody down by DNA? Hospitals don't do that, number one. And number two, it takes more than DNA to make you somebody's legal guardian over medical and stuff. There's procedures. There's protocol that has to be done. You really... Wow. Does she even understand how ridiculous she sounds? She tries to make herself sound so smart, and it's an epic fail. It's an epic fail. Because that elevator don't even go up to the first floor most times. Sorry, just my opinion.
It just seems like such a fucking ridiculous hill to try to want to die on. That's in my opinion.
What?
I don't get it.
What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, you don't get it. That's the only true statement you've made so far in this whole boring live.
This is a legal fact that Letitia, unfortunately, does not have any legal rights to Vaughn.
True.
If she were to petition the court, she would have an uphill battle. By
True.
reporting this information, I am not bullying Letitia. This is an unfortunate reality. Once
True.
Vaughn was adopted, Letitia lost all legal rights to him. His great-grandma, along with Andrea, are Vaughn's next of kin. Biologically, Letitia is his mother. Legally, OAC is Vaughn's mother. I am reporting facts. Letitia was able to see Vaughn. Dre allowed this to happen. Vaughn is an adult, and his medical care is not released to anyone other than his next of kin or power of attorney. This is why Andrea is the only one that has the information. For reference, when someone turns 18, their parents must have permission from their adult child to have information about their medical care. Exactly.
EKC, now I can't even tell you what you're supposed to be doing because at this point it doesn't matter. All of that is true. Vaughn was adopted as a small child. They don't talk about her because it doesn't fit the narrative they put out. They want everybody to think that, oh, poor Letitia, that's her son, and she's not. She's being withheld from seeing him and all this other stuff. Yeah. Wrong, wrong, and wrong. And Letitia is not being bullied. She did some bullying, in my opinion, when people started asking questions and wanted refunds. People were threatened, harassed, doxxed, blocked, you name it. But Letitia is not being bullied in this post. What are you talking about? Just because somebody is trying to make a point does not mean it's bullying. But you bully, you try to bully, you've never succeeded, but you've tried to bully Katie. For how long now? Remember the person that you defend all the time? I mean, you're okay with some really off-the-wall bad stuff with some of the people you defend, and you defend their bad actions. Says a lot.
Justice for Vaughn admins do not like facts.
No, they don't.
This is not bullying. If you have to keep saying that it's not bullying in the same post, it might be fucking bullying. And you might even think it's bullying if you keep saying it's not.
What? Wow. She's right. The admins did not like the facts, and they didn't put the facts out. But as far as the bullying crap, wow. Like I said,
you had to say that so many times in a fucking post, right? Right?
When you're trying to make a point, yeah, you do. But besides that, she wasn't being bullied. Wow, her elevator really don't go up at all.
Okay.
I can't remember, I can't remember in part one, does she make any of those, because she makes some pretty good drinks sometimes. I have to give her that. She actually comes up and makes some good drinks. Maybe she needs to have a few of them. I don't know.
No one argues that Letitia should be allowed to see her son.
What are you laughing about? Are you laughing at yourself? Because you should. Because you sound really ridiculous. You messed up reading it, so you must be laughing at yourself, because I don't see otherwise what was so funny. And again, what's your point?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. You don't want to read anything that supports anything Katie's saying.
This next one.
That's exactly right. Now this, you're going to get some excitement out of EKC here. Probably the most excited I've seen her in this whole long, boring live. Because it's somebody slamming Katie. And Katie herself posted this. But remember how EKC always says, oh no, she deletes any or blocks anybody and deletes all the negative comments. No, she don't. No, she don't. Or she wouldn't even be posting this email she got. But, you know, this is excitement for her. And this is probably, to her, the whole reason she did this 2.5 hour boring ass live. But again, just my
Morning to
opinion.
me, Blackheart. Kelly Easton says, "You are a horrible person. Karma will come for you, and many, many people deserve to see it happen. You have a black heart and no soul. You should be ashamed of yourself, if you are even capable of feeling."
Don't ever get a job. You know how you can get hired to do audio books and stuff. She don't need to. She don't need to, because she makes everything sound so juvenile and mature that nobody would want to listen.
Is she wrong? No. All right, she was wrong to send it. Yes, it's true.
Oh, shut up! You were loving every bit of it. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have said be quiet. You were loving every bit of it. If somebody sent you something like that, you'd be sitting there crying your eyes out, saying, "Oh, woe is me! I didn't do anything." You'd never post it like Katie did. Yeah, never would. You don't have it in you.
And lastly, we have for the 29th. On August 27, 2019.
See, now this I didn't think should have been even put out there by without a crystal ball or anybody. Okay, because Dre was a victim in this. Dre's been a victim in all of this, actually. The hate, the harassment, the doxing, the destruction of her life. But I just think that this SA stuff should have not been included in this. And I'm not surprised EKC sitting here rereading it on YouTube. I mean, even Katie didn't put it on YouTube. She put it on her Facebook, but still, I don't know. In just my opinion, I think everybody's wrong for even talking about this, because it has nothing to do with what happened with Vaughn, and it's just shouldn't be talked about. Just my opinion.
Dre told her supporters,
If anybody should talk about it, it should be Dre. It was her story. It's her life. And no one should be telling her story. They weren't there. They don't know what happened. Just saying.
that she filed a police report against her
Miss
chiropractor
Juvenile here.
for an S offense. This is the same S offense report that shows up on police call logs. This is via a supporter from the live where they discussed the situation.
Excuse me. Damn, it's chilly out here tonight. Whew. I mean, it's like 11:30 at night. It's actually chilly out. It's cold out here.
Several on the 31st. So, first let me check chat here.
Oh, yeah, she's really worried about her
Autistic
chat
Santa.
and her tags. She's really worried about the tags. She checks them several times during this 2.5-hour live. I don't get it. What's the big deal about your tags?
Right. Any tags here?
See? Told you tags. Talk to your audience.
Oh, we got little Santa emojis.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, cool. Hey, Jack Me Often.
You would think something like that's cool. I mean, you have supported someone who was on a live with you and another woman who was talking about an incident with her child while he was watching porn and pleasuring himself. And you could have cared less. You just blew it off, acted like, even when you realized what was going on, you didn't do nothing. So, I mean, certain things with you just don't register. It's like, it's kind of like you, put this blinder on and just, you're a parent. You're a woman, you're a human being. But you seem to be okay. You support people that have been accused, have been proven to be offenders, harassers. I mean, you back Lobster Man who talks to women like it's just disgusting, the things he's done and said. And you support all that. And you defend him. And then having a sexual predator on, and you defend that. But you're a mom. Make it make sense, because I can't. Something's just not right. There's something not right. How could you have that much hate for someone you've never met, probably never really talked to other than messages, if even that, and defend some of the things that were done to her? And you've done a lot of crappy shit to her too. But it got out of hand. And you know it got out of hand. And then you're defending this man that raised this money for this felonious lawsuit he didn't even have and never went through. And it was dismissed with prejudice. And it kills you that Katie won. But that's a win. Because he never had a case to begin with. He was the one doing it. Just saying.
What's that doing now? Okay, there we go. So on the 30th, she says, Justice for Vaughn is back now. The group is no longer public and has gone private. I would like to encourage admins in this group to stop blocking questions about endless fundraising. Please stop preventing discussions about the entire situation.
Excuse me. That's true.
Please start posting about S awareness. Please stop using the group as a launching point to harass people that have questions or want answers. Please
did
stop
that.
alienating Dre's fans who have valid questions and aren't haters. Justice for Vaughn is a group that is pushing a narrative that is Dre is evil and Vaughn's family is good.
That's exactly what was going on.
Kids are Vaughn's family, regardless of what they think of Dre. They've encouraged the harassment.
They didn't even know Dre.
They refuse any questions about Vaughn's estranged family. They claim to be Vaughn's voice with literally no clue what Vaughn wants.
That, and every word of that is true. All of that is true. They were his biological family. They were not his family. They didn't have much of a relationship. In Vaughn's own words, in whole videos on their own channels, you can go watch them. Vaughn will tell you the few times he did try to connect with his biological mother, she did him wrong many times. She did. You know, EKC, sometimes I just don't think you can comprehend reality. I really don't. Because you're rehashing this stuff and I know you know that the facts and the truth has come out in this whole thing. And you know that there's been police involvement, there's been a summons issued for Letitia. You know this stuff. But you're going to sit here and act like a high school girl in competition with another girl. You're not Katie. You can't be Katie. You will never have a channel like Katie. Because everything you guys have done has backfired. Katie's continued to grow. She's over 300,000 subs. She gets tons of views. So, who's the fool? Just asking. Who's the fool? Who's stagnant with the same boring content all the time? You do switch it up and go after nonsense sometimes, you know. That's your newest target in the last few months, you know, for Molly, of course, to get Molly's pat on the back. But you can't get a reaction. You need to concentrate on other content. You really do. I mean, stick to mixing your drinks, because you do mix some really cool drinks. You know, do stuff like that. This stuff, honey, you're 48 years old. You're a mom. And the stuff that you're okay with is just beyond. It is beyond. Because I'm sorry, but I would never, ever be okay with someone on my live watching porn and pleasuring himself, let alone having a convicted pedophile or sexual offender around, or to do the things to women he has done, and you support all this. You attack Uni because Uni told the truth. Uni showed facts. And you'll come after me. You've tried already. I don't care. I'm not lying about anything. I'm not up here with blinders on seeing, mocking someone like a juvenile little girl. You sound ridiculous. You're pointless. Let's just get back into it.
No one speaks for Vaughn. No one is Vaughn's voice. Absolutely no one knows what he wanted or how he would feel about this situation.
That's
if you
true.
care about Vaughn,
They didn't
give
know
this
him.
man dignity. Stop leading a crusade of hate. Stop silencing opposing views. Oh my God.
Oh my God, what? Oh my God, what? What's your point? What's your point?
Jesus Christ. Like, how do you not fucking... How do you lack any at all self-reflection and write this shit and not see that it's you?
What?
How?
How is it Kate? Wow. She really is reaching. How is this Katie's fault? How is this Katie? Vaughn was showed no dignity. Do you really think that that man would have been okay with the things you people have done to his wife and family? Do you really think he would support all this? Because if you think it's all okay, wow. I just wonder what kind of a life you have. I'm sorry, but I'm not trying to go real life here. But she's okay with all this mixed up shit. And she's trying to turn this all on like it's all Katie. Katie didn't do nothing. Katie wasn't the first one to ask questions. Katie wasn't the first one to ask for a refund. So how is this all on Katie? Katie owned up to her shit. Granted, she was wrong in the beginning. Yes, she was. And a lot of us were misled. I think, maybe she should have did some due diligence in the listen to me. I'm starting to sound like her. See, I got to quit reviewing her because it kills your brain cells. But anyway, I don't understand how you think this is all on Katie. How is it Katie's fault? You haven't made your point on where's your proof? What are you saying that it's Katie's fault? How is it Katie's fault? Please tell us. Because I don't get it. And everybody knows I'm not a Katie fan, okay? I'm not a Crystal Ball fan. I honestly don't watch her. It's reality TV. I have. I'm not going to say I haven't. I've watched her from time to time. I don't know. I think I watched a Facebook Live or something once of hers or part of it or something. I may have even commented. And yeah, I've left some snarky comments. Yeah, I have. I'm not going to lie. Does Katie get snarky with people back? Hell yeah. Again, how is this Katie's fault? Please tell us how this is Katie's fault. Because you say it, but you don't back it up with nothing. You never have a point. If your point is that it's all Katie's fault, how is it all Katie's fault? Tell us. Again, tell us.
How does that happen? How does someone become that oblivious or that able to ignore themselves in such ways? I'm kind of envious, really. I don't know.
Well, we know you're envious, Katie. We've been asking the same questions about you. How do you become so oblivious, so blinded with hate for someone you don't even know? Again, never met. And you sit here and try to mock her. But it's an epic fail. So we know you're envious of Katie. That's obvious. You have been from the get-go. That's so obvious. Am I envious of Katie? No. But Katie puts in the work. And that's why her channel continues to grow. And yours stays stagnant. I'm hoping that don't happen to me. I'm not going to start my channel on a hate train like you did. I don't want to do that. I don't hate anyone like that. I dislike people. But I'm not going to get on here and outright lie and mock everything someone does and post. Because honestly, I don't look you up. I don't know what you post on your social media. I don't look for it. You stalk Katie. and nonsense. And probably several other people. I mean, you really go all out to stop Katie. So, self-reflection is what you're doing. Because what you said is about you, not about Katie. Don't project.
Be objective. First post back a request for all of Dre's criminal information because it's relevant for an attempted S. Oh, and a truck payment is? Really?
Yeah. Actually, when you're being sued, anything about your life is fair game and can be used. And when you're suing someone, anything financial would be used. You clearly don't know what you're talking about. Like I said, you are so blind, so hell-bent on calling Katie out on anything possible that you're making yourself look, I hate to say this word, but she's really making herself look stupid. You know, just, she's doing it to herself. She just, oh yeah. I mean, I don't think she is stupid. She's just so blinded that it comes out, the blinding by hate that it comes out, making her, it just comes out. I don't know. Let's just get back into it.
However, Vaughn's estranged
because what I want to say, I won't say because
right.
I won't.
Estranged family's criminal history is not relevant. Okay. Why are you posting it?
It's already been out there, and when you're raising endless amounts of money, yeah, it does end up playing into it. And why are you reading it? Because you're the one putting it on YouTube. Just asking.
However, Vaughn's estranged family's criminal history is not relevant. Okay. I am not Team Dre. You sure fucking sound like it.
No, you're wrong. Where does she ever sound like Team Dre? I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that at all.
Team
Is there anybody
dignity.
home there?
What happened to team for the kids? Get the kids' safety. I'm Team Dignity for Vaughn.
Yes.
Could that be considered justice for Vaughn? I'm curious.
What justice, EKC? What justice is there? There was no crime committed. There is no justice. The person that deserved justice is Dre. And yes, Marvon. Because what you guys have done to Andrea and her family, this is the worst time of this woman's life. That's her husband, her kid's father laying there. You people have incited hate, have harassed, have doxxed. And you're a part of it because you pass on the misinformation. And the outright lies. And you don't care that it is lies. You don't care. Because you might be able to get one up on Katie. And you might get a pat on the back from Molly. So you don't care. But there was children living in that home that this stuff was done to.
The circus that justice
That's who
for Vaughn
deserves
created
justice, Dre.
is
And I hope she gets it.
Okay, I guess she just answered my question. It's disrespectful of all parties. It's okay to harass Andrea at her lowest point because she's evil. But it's not okay to ask questions about his estranged family. Questions are called harassment
true.
and bullying. Oh my God! But who do you think started that? Who do you think's the fucking queen of calling questions bullying or trolling?
Okay.
Yet this movie.
How did Katie start it? Again, EKC, which you know the facts. You know the facts. You know Katie's not the first one that started this. She's not the first one to ask questions. She's not the first one to ask for a refund. You know all this. But again, you don't care about facts. You care about your hate for someone you don't even know.
this movement has bullied Andrea off the internet. Accountability, I think, is what bullied Andrea off the internet.
What?
I don't believe in silence.
What? Accountability? Bully Dre off the internet? Are you freaking kidding me here? Dre is the victim here. She's the one who should get a lawyer and sue all you guys. Every one of you. She has been threatened, harassed, hate campaign incited against her. Her family. She's been doxxed. She needed her income. She has children to support, EKC, and a husband laying in a coma that has medical expenses. Yes, he has insurance with the VA, but there's still other expenses. And she still has the house to maintain, to take care of those children. And you people seem fit to make sure she couldn't do that. How would you feel if that was done to you or someone in your family? But you know, things like that don't register with you, which is really weird. Being a mom yourself, and a wife, and a woman, you seem to be okay with this crap. I can't make it up. I can't make it make sense.
Any voices, except for people who disagree with me and post so on my pages.
What? That's why she posted the email and the negative comments she gets. Okay, EKC. You're really reaching, man. You sounded really ridiculous. No, what it should say is that you're talking with stupidity right now. That's what it should say.
I am any voices. None of you know what's going on with Vaughn, and you won't know because the one person who does know wants nothing to do with you.
Exactly.
Dignity for Vaughn.
It is. There needs to be, and there has been, not one iota of dignity from you or Molly or any of you guys. What dignity and respect have you shown this man? Not a one. You sit here and you try to mock the facts about what happened. You sit here and pass on misinformation. Your problem with this is a lot of this is facts, and you don't like that. Again, what is your point? Because all you're doing is showing that Katie put out facts. I don't see where your big woohoo moment is to call Katie out on anything. Because really, the only one you're trying to call out here a couple times is Dre. Wonder. Just wonder. She wants that pat on the back for Molly. And again,
shit, I never read those. What was
oh,
the
she
date
found
of
something she
those?
didn't read.
27th?
Lord knows. She's going to read them, though. Every word.
Maybe I'll do those now. Or no, I'll do those after the next one.
Yeah, we know you won't let them go. You'll get back to them. But the only ones you won't read are the ones from Letitia that Katie posted. Because you couldn't see them. God forbid you might have to zoom in. You didn't read them because it supported what Katie was saying.
31st.
And if you do want to see those, they are on Katie's Facebook. They may even be on Nonsense's channel. Because a lot of these messages are. But yeah.
Okay. So, I think this is the last one. No. Oh, what am I doing? I'm talking. I'm an idiot. Not even near the end. All right,
I didn't say that. She did. I didn't say that. She did. But that is one thing I do have to agree with her on.
This one post.
Boy, you hit the nail on the head with that.
What am I doing? Okay, this was from the 27th. It's the one that I read. The truth always comes out. Admins admitted last night that she loves Molly, a.k.a. Marissa, and asked her to help Letitia.
She's going to
where
get
she's
real juvenile
complaining that
sounding here.
she liked Molly more than me, basically. There are screenshots.
No, that's not what you said. Was there some sourness between that with Katie? Yeah. But Molly went hard after Katie. Video after video after video. Katie didn't. Katie didn't do one video about Molly about this. She posted some stuff on Facebook, and I think she talked on it. I don't know, I didn't watch too many of her Facebook Lives. I think I seen one. But anyway, yeah. So again, was there some saltiness going on? Yeah, sure. And this is from that Tony, okay? And you got to remember now, these people with these Facebook groups, they have so many alts. They had so many accounts. I don't know how they kept up with them. And then you got this Erica that gets into this too. Gosh, she's had so many accounts and there's so many people and it's everywhere. And she was in this deep because she was giving Molly misinformation. And of course, Molly's eating it up instead of vetting anything, just like EKC would. But yeah, let's just get back into it.
Tony says to Victoria Blake, these aren't even DMs, these are posts. Yes, she is doing this. We are just helping her at her request. And I love Molly. I'm actually the one that contacted her about this and asked for her help. This group is actually what started all of this.
Yeah, hate group. There was never no interest in justice because number one, there was no justice to get. This was started out of hate, which EKC knows all about because that's how she's built what she does have on her channel.
Now it's DMs. Katie, I'm coming to you and asking for you to please stop with the drama. This shouldn't be the focus here. As long as you fire back, it's going to continue. Please delete that post and just stop. Be the bigger person. Show people that they are wrong about you and ignore it, please. Nope. I'm done with Molly's bullshit. You
I don't blame her.
come to me to stop the drama? On the day of my daughter's wedding? That's what it sounds like it should say.
What? Wow. She really thinks she's funny. I mean, what the hell does that have to do with it? Katie don't even, number one, have a daughter. Yeah, I know, she's trying to be snarky and smart, and funny, but it's not, and it's stupidity.
Why haven't you called Molly out? She started this shit, not me. I haven't called anyone out. I have messaged you both asking for it to stop.
Okay, what they're doing here, in my opinion, is this Tony most likely was told by Molly to either get Katie out of the group or to shut Katie up. And that's what she was trying to do. They wanted to control the narrative. So that, and let Molly keep running with this, all the lies she was telling. Because it is all lies. And now Molly's trying to backtrack and say she's never said stuff. But oh yes she has. Oh yes she has. Molly's trying to be Dre now. Now she wants to try to, do like Dre was doing with the life and stuff on YouTube. Molly, it's too late for you. Dre didn't act like you. She did not scream and yell and cuss and get so high up on whatever pills and alcohol you're drinking and gnaw it out during her lives and stuff and tell people they better super chat you and, she didn't do all that stuff. But now Molly's trying to go that direction, but I think it's too late for Molly because any reputable company is gonna see Molly for what Molly is. And I'm sorry, but I can't see any reputable company wanting her representing their products. Just saying.
I'm not talking about Molly. I can't control Molly, and neither can you. You can control how you respond. I promise if you stop this nonsense and act unbothered, you would do so much better. But Molly can act this way?
Molly was making video after video trashing Katie and getting other people to deal with her. So, including you. But yeah.
Admin is talking to Molly while I talk to you. Well, all your admins praise her. I'm getting death threats because of her. Do you understand that?
That was, from what I
Doesn't
understand,
matter
that
how
was
Molly
true.
acts, though. That doesn't fall back on you. Your actions do.
That didn't say do, it said your actions, so. But that, from what I understand, that was true. There was threats being made. And it was because of Molly. Again, what's your point, EKC?
Katie, I'm sure you get those threats a lot doing what you do, or being who you are.
That's not what the post says. It says doing what you do. It's a part of her job. No, death threats are not a part of her job. She reports on reality TV. Okay? It's not a part of your... EKC, wow. I still can't believe this woman is a mother
part of the
and
job.
a wife.
But bottom line is, you
I just
are
wonder what
only
kind of...
in control of how Katie acts and what Katie does. I'm just trying to help you. I understand that. But I've been beaten down by her for over a week.
That's
I
true.
took the high road that whole time. I finally responded last night. Let people say what they want about you. Don't give them a second of your time.
This girl's trying real hard to shut Katie up for Molly. Because they couldn't control Katie. And Katie wasn't going to run with their narrative anymore. About Dre being this evil murmurer. And, you know, like Molly was saying. And I heard and saw with my own eyes and my own ears Molly say this many times. She even accused Dre of stabbing the children, of poisoning, trying to poison, of all kinds of stuff. Yeah. And then she tries to spin it because, like I said, she's trying to be an influencer like Dre was. Molly's so jealous of Dre, it's pathetic. And if you look at Molly's history, the women she always tears up. She's always talking on somebody's looks. Everybody's a drug addict. Everybody's a criminal. But Molly's all that. I'm sorry, but facts are the facts. Truth is truth. But yeah, let's just go.
Thing is, we don't give two shits what people think of us. We're not doing this for anyone but Vaughn and Letitia. Yeah, Pages and a lot of people have talked about us, but we're grown women and know how to take the high road instead of acting like a damn
You've
child.
never...
And I'm not
But these groups didn't take the high road. This is all bullshit.
telling you what to do. I was asking for you to be
They
the
didn't
bigger
even know
person.
Vaughn. It
Stop
wasn't
acting
about
like a high school
Vaughn.
drama
It was
queen.
about getting even
I'm
with
asking you to
Dre.
have some respect for this family. Stop worrying about what everyone else is doing and worry about Katie. I'm seriously done talking about it. You do what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, the way you act falls back on you, not me or anyone else. I get that. But what about Molly?
Wow, she's
Why
so
has the group
juvenile.
allowed her lives and abusive videos which degrade and demean me to be there? How does that help Vaughn?
Listen, look at you. Listen to how you sound. You are so ridiculous. Grow up. But it's all true. They were showing Molly's videos, posting Molly's videos of her tearing apart Katie on the daily. So again, because they couldn't control the narrative with Katie. They couldn't get... Katie wasn't on board with their story. And she was showing facts that they didn't want out there. And they would try to beat her to the punch by posting it, by getting, jumping the gun, knowing she was going to post it. They would post it so they could post it with their narrative, which is coming up. You'll see what I mean.
Yep, okay, so that's that. All right, so go back to, what am I doing? The 30th.
Yeah, I'm wondering what you're doing too.
Right there. Okay, good. So, we have why I requested a refund from GoFundMe. How a felon with a conviction for impersonating an attorney got involved with Vaughn's family. Why this raised serious concerns for many. I downloaded that video too.
Yeah, well, you know what? Do yourself a favor and actually watch the video and listen. Because it's true what she's saying. What a good looking couple, huh? Look at the picture of Vaughn and Dre. That's sad. What a sad story. That's just so sad. And in all this, Dre's the one who is not only owed a hell of a massive apology, but they took her income away when she has children to take care of. She's owed a lot, and I just pray that she has an attorney and she goes after these idiots, especially Molly and Justin and LB and Goose. And you.
Yeah. Let's put a spotlight on why the situation has become filled with questions and how a woman with a very shady past made people request refunds.
Letitia, in my opinion.
On July 12th, Andrea McRae's former admin Brittany Muniz, aka Brittany Phillips Cruz, let me know she helped Letitia Bias find an attorney. Brittany claimed that she offered to help Letitia and had called over a dozen attorneys in Tucson to take the case. Brittany also claimed that she sat in the attorney meeting with Letitia with an attorney. She said the retainer was $4,000. Hours later, I received a message from former friends of Brittany, alerting me to this news report below from 2015. Brittany was arrested for impersonating a divorce attorney and had at least 3 known victims. Police also accused her of identity fraud by using information she collected from the victims. Brittany was sentenced to prison. She was sentenced to 2 years. This was her 3 conviction for fraud. Her 3 conviction.
Her third.
On July 12th,
Read
I
it
confronted
right.
Brittany about her criminal history.
So
she admitted to the
juvenile.
conviction. I urged her to step out. She then told me that Letitia offered to pay her for helping her. She claims that she declined.
Number one, this is all true as far as this Brittany. But do I think she called some lawyers? Yeah. Do I think she should have? Hell no. Do I think she actually sat in on a meeting? Hell to the no. Number one, client lawyer privilege, client attorney privilege. Okay. You're going to be signing a retainer and giving the lawyer the retainer. There's no way they're going to have some total stranger in this meeting that you've never even met. So, yeah, not buying it. Didn't buy it when it was said months ago. Don't buy it now.
I reached out to Bond stepmom.
Katie's only reporting what Brittany told her. Or what Brittany told everybody.
I also attempted to
But all this about Brittany's criminal is true.
I also attempted to alert Letitia and received no response. Wynette said that Letitia cut ties with Brittany. However, Brittany remained involved with Letitia for days after I was tipped off about her fraud conviction. This is why I no longer wanted to donate any money to Letitia. I told Brittany her involvement would make people doubt Letitia's further. At present, Brittany is no longer involved. But she claims she told Letitia about her felony, and Letitia still agreed to work with her. On July 13th, Brittany said she was done helping Letitia. But I found out later that it wasn't until several days later that they cut ties. Most recently, Brittany was outed for faking cancer in a predator hunting community.
That's true.
Many people warned Letitia about Brittany. Initially, she didn't listen. Now they aren't working together.
She's so cute.
It's almost like then they listened.
No. Did you listen to what you're reading? Take it in. She said initially. No, Letitia did not listen. And she continued to work with her until it became public what was going on. Till it came out on social media, all the truth. And by then she was so locked in with Molly, and Molly was getting so money. They were just soaking people for donations. It was pathetic. It wasn't about Vaughn. It was about donations, money.
Please watch this video. On July 15th, 2022, Marissa read a text message from Letitia to her audience. Letitia told her that they had filed emergency paperwork with a judge for visitation.
That's
She
true.
said that they had to wait on the judge to respond. This week, Letitia said they never filed any paperwork. Back
That's
on July
true,
15th,
too.
people were accusing Letitia of scamming them. She also said she was afraid Dre was going to pull the plug before she got to see Vaughn. I know what the video they're talking about. It's not exactly what she said. Well, the plug thing, yeah, but the rest.
Yeah, it is. It is what's been stated. So clearly, yet again, you didn't pay attention to what you were watching. There was never no proof of any attorney retained. In fact, there's been proof shown by these admin groups that Letitia never followed through with paying the retainer to the attorney. Okay, because really, Letitia had no reason for an attorney. She had no legal grounds whatsoever. And most attorneys, and Letitia admitted it herself, most attorneys even told her she had no chance. She had no case. Okay? But I'm sure she'd find someone to take the money. But unfortunately, there was never no attorney retained or a retainer paid because they've never showed anything. And when asked, people were harassed and threatened and doxxed. Also, nothing to this day has ever been filed in court about this. Ever.
This is why people are confused. Letitia said she filed paperwork. Those were her words.
Yes,
then
she
2 weeks
did.
later, there was no paperwork.
There
This isn't
never
about
was.
bashing a mother. It's just about bashing this mother.
How is she being bashed? You are an idiot. You really are. You're an idiot. Because what Katie's saying is true. Letitia did state all this, and none of it was ever done. So you tell me how Letitia's being bashed here. You don't even know. You don't. You're just sitting here acting like a little juvenile little girl trying to mock Katie. But you're really mocking Marwan and what's going on. That's what you're really doing.
This isn't about hating on a mom. Just about hating on this mom.
No one's hating on her. You're an idiot. No one is hating on her. If telling the facts is hate, now I feel bad for you. I really do, if that's how you take it. Because you really don't get it. You just don't get nothing beyond your hate for Without a Crystal Ball. Because this is all facts. Yeah, EKC, facts. Look it up on Google. You're always saying look it up on Google. You need to look it up on Google.
It's about lack of transparency and shifting stories. Everyone
That's
agrees
true.
Letitia should see Vaughn. No one disagrees that she should be withheld.
Oh, look at her. She's so juvenile.
Seriously, no one disagrees that she should be withheld from being able to see him and know his medical condition. No one disagrees that she should be withheld from this. You do not fucking know how. It's like the whole negative connotation in a sentence or double negative or whatever. It just really fucking trips her up.
Quit trying to make yourself sound so smart. Because you're not. And you know exactly what she was saying. She meant that no one is disagreeing that she should be allowed to see him. But after everything she's done and co-signed to Dre, I understand 1,000% why Dre doesn't let them people know we're near her and her family. Honestly, I wouldn't either. But you know exactly what's being said here. That's the best you could come up with. That's your big point. Totally pointless. You're a bigger idiot than I thought.
Molly has promised Dre that if she allowed Letitia to see Vaughn, that she would remove every single video about this situation.
And she has said that many times, and she has not done that. Now, give who the views? Katie never put this on her YouTube. So how is it giving Katie views? She never put none of this on her YouTube. Wow. I can't even believe I can say that. But you even sound more ridiculous than ever.
she said she would stop covering the story.
She did,
Letitia
many
saw
times.
Marvin. Molly has not removed any videos.
Nope.
And look at that, we're sharing nonsense on the web. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out, nonsense. Hey, yeah, your stalker here. You know you got a stalker, right, nonsense? Your stalker's name is EKC.
All right, this is funny.
And she was so excited about going over these because I remember back in part 1, she was like, yeah, because the end of July, beginning of August is so good. She really thought she was going to sit here and out Katie for something. But she didn't. Actually, what she did do was show that Katie was actually reporting some of the facts. Yeah. Go figure.
I can't believe there's still people in here. It's getting late.
Yeah, I can't
It's
believe
Christmas.
there's still... Yeah, it's Christmas, and I can't believe that people are still in this chat either. See, that's the second thing I agree with you on during this whole 2.5 hours. Yeah. And it is Christmas. Go be with your family. Get off YouTube.
Like, does a mother that loves her son and grandson launch an online mob to harass the mother of her grandson? The grandson, who is at risk because Marissa sends people to where he is, gives out addresses and gets photos of the backyard. Photos. Like, doesn't Google Image get photos too?
Oh my God. This woman is beyond dense. There's just nothing there. How can you sit here and mock that crap? How can you sit here and think that's okay? This was all done. Molly sent people to Dre's home, gave out her address of her mom's home, asked people to go there, to film the backyard, to get pictures of the shed, to get pictures of them. There were small children living in that house where she was sending total strangers. Are you kidding me? And you're going to sit here and mock that? Wow. Wow. And you're a mom.
These people do not care about Raza or his safety.
Nope.
They are chasing dollars, in my opinion. Get offline and clean up your house. Marissa's house always looks clean. What is she talking about? Like, unlike Katie's house.
Okay. Wow. This girl's really an idiot. That totally went over her head. And how do you know Katie's house is clean? You've never even been in her driveway, let alone in her house. And that's not what she meant. It totally went over your head like most things do. But you sit here and try to make yourself sound so smart, and it's not working. It's not working.
Marissa
Just
was
my
arrested
opinion.
and charged
Yeah.
with embezzlement in 2003.
She was.
So what she does say in 2022 matters.
Yeah, it does.
In federal.
When you're involved with raising this kind of money, and the money she scammed out of people, because what proof do we have all those super chats that she got as donations for Letitia? How do we know she gave them to Letitia? We don't. Because there's been no transparency. And in any fundraiser, when you're fundraising for specific causes, needs to be receipts. There's none. They said it was for legal fees and for trips to visit, but none of that was done. She did one visit for 3 hours. Excuse me, but what I think she did is she broke the visit. I mean, she didn't even spend the 3 hours at one time. And this is her own words. This is Letitia Bias's own words. She went one day for a little bit and then was leaving the next day and stopped for a little bit. But out of all this crap and all the money raised, she spent a whole 3 hours visiting with her biological son that she's so concerned about. Yeah, okay. You go on and believe that. You keep sitting here trying to mock without a crystal ball and making yourself sound like a bigger idiot than I thought you were. Okay. Okay. Let's get back into it.
Her case was dismissed when she completed a first offenders diversion program. She was arrested for theft in New Orleans in 2019.
She was.
LaTisha has filed for bankruptcy twice. Twice.
Yeah. And when you're raising this kind of money, and there was a lot of money raised, and the money disappears, and you do too, yeah. Unfortunately, because Letitia Bias started this whole thing with misinformation and started out right out the gate asking for money, puts a lot of things into question, and unfortunately does end up factoring in. It does.
She was convicted of forgery, bad checks, custody interference, contempt of court, and credit card theft. See, custody interference, that sounds to me like she didn't really want to give up her kid, and she was trying to somehow, for some
You're an
reason,
idiot.
for some amount of time, be with her kid. That's what that tells me.
No, what it tells me is you're really... Oh, number one, she has more than one child. And out of all those charges, that's the thing you're going to pick out instead of the important things like the fraud, the scamming, the credit card theft, the identity theft. You're going to pick out something about kids, but it wasn't about Juan. She has other children, you know? So, no, it wasn't about Juan. She wasn't a part of Juan's life, unfortunately. It is what it is. That's the truth.
She and her husband have felonies, judgments, evictions, and a history of non-payment. Non-payment.
It's all true.
So they should have asked to raise money because they can't afford to pay shit.
No, that's
Letitia
not what was said. God, you're so... There's just no one there, is there? There's just nothing. There's just nothing. No one was saying because she can't pay shit. Everybody goes through hard times and can't make their bills. It happens to everybody. Well, most of everybody. But that's what... What? God, I lose more brain cells every time I turn her back on.
Grandma. He was estranged
His great-grandmother.
from Letitia due to business loan he made to her that she never paid back. He frequently said his biological mom used him for money.
He did. And it's true. And he said it in his own words. Go
Sounds
watch.
like you're punishing her for not having money. That's what
What?
it sounds like.
No, it doesn't sound like that. What little twisted mind do you have? It's not about that. What she said is true. Juan has said it himself. God, you're an idiot.
She had not seen Vaughn in over 7 years. She's never met Rosa. Okay.
That's true. Oh, you don't want to read that stuff, though, because it's facts and it doesn't fit your story.
What was that? Okay.
Here we go.
Multiple people have reached out to me and have tried to get refunds from Letitia for their donations. They have told me and shown me that Letitia has blocked them. Both people donated to her Cash App. That's multiple people. I get it's more than one, but multiple kind of gives the impression it's more than two.
Why do you always try to sound so smart? Because it doesn't work. It doesn't go off. You just don't pull it off. Sorry. I'm not trying to be mean. But it is what it is. And it was multiple people. A lot of people requested refunds and were denied, harassed, doxxed, threatened, blocked. So, yeah, that's true.
FYI, I cannot direct anyone what to do. Do not donate to a stranger's Cash App. FYI, I cannot direct anyone what to do, but do not donate to a stranger's Cash App.
That's advice. That's not directing you. That's advice. Look at you. You are so immature. Lady, you need to grow up. You really need to grow up.
There are no goals, no insurance if the fundraising is fraud, and there is no accountability required from the platform for fundraisers. Report the fraud to Cash App. Only ever donate to platforms with insurance and refund policies. If you are not able to receive a refund, contact your bank
Excuse
or
me.
file a police
Excuse me.
report. But I'm not telling you what to do. I
She's
can't
not.
direct anyone what to do.
People were asking her. She's telling them their options, what they can do. She's not telling them to go do it. People were asking her what to do to get a refund. She was giving them their options. That's it. Quit reaching.
If you believe fraud occurred. I never donated to Letitia's Cash App because it immediately blocked the donation for my safety. What? This was the message I got from Cash App. Refunded for your protection. What?
Why is that so funny to you? What is so funny about that? That can happen on Cash App. It has happened, and not just to Katie. But yeah, shocker. It's true. But what is so funny about it? God, your immaturity.
I gotta see this. Is this one I shared screenshots of?
No one said there were screenshots of it. Where did you see her say there was a screenshot of it? Because it doesn't say that in the post.
I didn't read that one up.
I'm trying to figure out where the screenshots came in at because I don't see anything posted about screenshots. Here we go with another long pause. At least talk to the people in your chat while you're doing this. You can't?
Okay.
Can't do more than one thing at a time? I'm just asking, because that's just how it seems, because you don't talk to anybody. You are so hell-bent on trying to call Katie out on any little thing you can. You're tanking your life, dude. You're tanking your life.
Other people have reached out to me.
And she
Okay, here we
still
go.
isn't
Oh, there are no
talking to...
pictures in this. She made it sound like that there are screenshots.
No,
on this
she
post. That's
never...
what I was looking for.
How did she make it sound like there's screenshots?
All right.
Where in this post does it say anywhere there's screenshots below? It doesn't. That's what you made up in your little twisted mind. And it's little.
Refunded for your protection. See, right
Yeah,
here, I thought
that does
she shared
happen.
a screenshot of Cash App.
No
saying
one
refunded
said
for your
anything about a screenshot. Did she say there was a
That
screenshot
was the message I got.
posted? Did she say anything about a
Setting up multiple
screenshot being
payment
included?
methods is a way to bypass blocks on various
Wow,
platforms.
she's an airhead.
Huge red flag. GoFundMe has a refund policy for fraud, which is how I requested my refund. I never donated to Letitia's Cash App because it immediately... Oh, wait, I already read that. Please use your common sense, people. Be aware of anyone with criminal convictions for fraud or theft who solicit donations. In other words, run background checks on everyone you might be considering to
Excuse
donate
me,
to online,
sorry.
basically.
Any more nowadays? You kind of have to, with all the scamming and fraud that's going on. So, what's so funny about that? Again, why are you mocking? Will you please just make your point already? I'm still waiting.
What that sounds like.
What it sounds like is common sense.
All right.
Something you lack.
One of the attorneys that Letitia claims to have found by Brittany Muniz, who went to prison for impersonating an attorney, please be careful when
True.
donating to anyone for legal fees.
True.
It is not your responsibility to cover someone else's problems. Any civil attorney can represent her for any of the cases she claims she wants to file. To date, nothing has been filed.
True.
Also, any wise attorney would tell their client to get the hell off social media if they care about the integrity of the case. Judges do not pay kind to social media foolery.
They don't.
Trust me, I know.
That's the best you're going to do. Is that the best you're going to do after 2.5 hours of this boring-ass live where you spend a lot of it not even saying anything? That's the best you got. Okay, we all know Katie's had lawsuits. We also know Katie hasn't lost any of the lawsuits. In fact, your buddy's was dismissed with prejudice because he didn't even have one in the first place. And Chrisley, we all know, got nothing like he bragged he was going to get. He got absolutely nothing. So, again, and what she said about the judges with social media, that's very true. You really are ridiculous. You're just ridiculous.
I just can't learn my lesson on it.
Yeah.
All right.
Why? You are doing commentary, but you sitting here whispering stuff. Grow the hell up. Oh my God, I can't with this woman. I can't. I just can't. She's just, there's no one there. There's nothing that registers. Just my opinion. She's very dense. Very dense. In this live. I'm just saying about this. What she's doing right now. I mean, there's only so much you can overlook with EKC. Come on.
What did I miss? Okay, no.
Oh, you missed a lot. You missed a lot. It just didn't register.
Screenshots.
I'm answering your own questions. It didn't register. Quit talking to yourself. You're doing a live. You got to chat. Talk to your chat.
So next we have this one. I think has a screenshot.
I see why she's stagnant.
Here is
I
today's
really
update.
do.
1. I did not set up a Cash App for the girl's father and take money. It was set up by his friend, and I have donated to the girl's father. I'm
And
not
that's
promoting
true.
this Cash App further. They received very few donations. 2. Andrea McRae is scheduled.
That is all true. Katie did not set up that Cash App, even though they've tried to say she is. And that was the some crane or something, I don't know, on Facebook. Excuse me. It was set up by a family friend. And the girl's, Dre's ex-husband, the girl's father, did not want nothing to do with Molly or Katie, any of this drama. He didn't want in it. And he didn't want no donations. So the Cash App was shut down. That's all true. And, you know, one day Molly would say, oh, well, we're going to help him. He's a good father, blah, blah, blah. And then the next day she would say, oh, he's terrible. He didn't want to pay his child support. He didn't spend no time with his kids. He's a loser. Yeah, you know, it's the same old crap. She's going to sit here and mock this whole thing. But really who she's mocking is Vaughn and Dre. That's who she's mocking. Because she's not doing anything to Katie here. She's not. What points has she made to call Katie out on anything? Not a one. Not a one.
For a court hearing on August 3rd. She has not been served and is making it pretty hard to be served. 3. Vaughn's medical condition is only known by Andrea, and she's not speaking to anyone. He is in a coma with no brain activity, and as Dre said repeatedly, doctors do not expect him to recover. She does not believe this. 4. No court filings have ever been filed by Letitia or any biological family
And
members
that's all
of
true.
Vaughn, due to the fact that he is estranged from them, adopted by his grandma, and is a married man.
Come on, Dickie,
judge
dude,
would
let's
be
go in the house.
unlikely to
Come on.
grant any
Come on, it's
emergency
time to go in. Come on.
Raza has no
Kitty,
relationship with
kitty.
Vaughn's biological mom.
Trying to get
If
my
he were
cat to come in. He
removed,
can't get out of the
he
patio.
would
It's a
more
big
than likely
screened
go
in
to a
room.
family member of
He
Andrea.
can't get out, but
5. The kids have not been removed by DCS. The investigation
come on now. Keep up with it. We're almost through. We're almost done.
The investigation
Don't.
is still active. 6. There has been no change to Dre's status as Vaughn's POA. She
That's
was never
true.
banned from the hospital. 7. Calling police, CPS, or hospitals would do nothing but inflame the situation. Andrea will use any and all of this against people if they attempt to sue her. 8. Do not go to Andrea's home, trespass, take photos, or go to her mom's home. Andrea has already reported Marissa to police and others for harassment and threats. 9. Let police and DCS do their jobs. Literally nothing done online will change the outcome at this point. 10.
That's true.
No one here is Team Andrea. I am Team No Rumors
she's so juvenile.
and Speculation. Now she's Team No Rumors and Speculation. Okay.
After the first week, Katie did come out and did own her crap. Did apologize. Again, what's your point? You were sitting here. I'm so tired of saying this, but I don't know what else to call it. She's being so juvenile. And I'm still waiting for this big point she's making here. Because so far, it has been totally pointless.
11. Andrea has not been charged with any crimes. 12. Disputes between families about end-of-life care happens daily. Make sure you take care of your medical decisions by creating an advance directive which outlines your wishes for the end of life. 13. Harassing anyone involved in this situation is wrong, and I will never endorse that. 14. Okay, vigilante is one word, you know. So, vigilante justice is criminal.
That's all you can call Katie out for? Wow. You really reaching, girl.
And wrong. Do not take this into
your own hands. And that's true. None of these statements are false. Are you going to read all this? Of course. What am I saying? Of course she is.
Do not take this into your own hands. 15. There are always 3 sides to a story. Just because Vaughn's family has one, so do Andrea and Vaughn.
That's true.
16. Drug addiction is a serious issue in the story. Both Andrea and Vaughn were addicts. Andrea had been addicted to painkillers. She spoke openly about this. Doctors would not prescribe meds, and they moved to kratom. Kratom is addictive. Withdrawal can cause seizures. Side effects can also cause depression and suicidal thoughts.
Oh,
17.
That's true.
The kids are the innocent victims in this situation and deserve to have stability, but we must let the authorities handle this. 18.
That's true.
Only pushing one narrative is extremely irresponsible. All stories must be reported from all sides, regardless.
What was the snicker in the lap about? God, your immaturity is beyond. It really is. It is just beyond. Wow. She sits here and laughs and snickers like a little juvenile high school girl. Actually, junior high, not even high school.
You don't like the people involved. 19. Any healthcare workers claiming to have info about Vaughn and releasing that to anyone is a violation of HIPAA. No doctors or nurses would speak about Vaughn's care or situation, or they can be sued.
That's
20.
all true.
No one should play doctor. Do not get medical advice from influencers, ever. 21. Donating
That's
to
true.
anyone is at your own risk. Personally, I would if I didn't.
Okay, so what was your point in all this? Because a lot of that was true. So again, what is your point?
Or, wait a minute. Personally.
Because you're not making a good one. You haven't yet. I mean, the things you've come up with for Dre or for to call Katie out on,
I don't know why I
sickening.
cut that out, but I did.
You cut it out probably because it proves Katie's
something
points.
really weird was right off the bat. An admin of Justice for Vaughn told me that she personally reported Andrea to CPS.
Mm-hmm.
She also claimed Dre must be stopped and said the
Yeah, that's all
CPS worker
true.
was in the Justice for Vaughn group.
This has all been said.
I'm just waiting till now, though, to tell you this.
No, this has been out there. You're, again, trying to twist everything and manipulate these words, but you can't. Because we know this stuff has been out there, and it wasn't Katie who did this stuff. It was the admins. And Molly and all them. Yeah, shocker, huh?
Tony claimed the worker was inside the group.
She
Tony
did.
also proudly said that she had the caseworker's phone number and name. Tony has
I
never
actually
met Andrea
remember
or
seeing all this in the Facebook group, and I actually got into arguments with people over this because I'm a licensed caregiver, and I deal with this kind of stuff. So, yeah, they're full of shit.
know
They're
her
full of shit.
personally. This was days before a case was ever opened into Andrea. If Tony knew that CPS was involved, why then would this group encourage mass reporting of Dre to CPS?
Exactly.
At one point, CPS received over 10,000 calls about Andrea.
They received a lot.
Why would they wouldn't release that? There were families in need of services and kids in need of help, but they could not get through. It's not how that works. if if attention is paid one area, it's not taken from another area. Okay, it's just there's still. It's not how this works.
You are so off base here. You have no idea what you're talking about. They received so many calls that it overwhelmed their system. Do you not get it? When a call, and these were all false reports made by strangers that have never even met these people, have never been to their home, have never met these children. They were all false reports. And yes, it overwhelmed the system because there was lots and lots and lots of them. And for you to sit here and say, act like, and mock this and think it's okay, do you understand what happens? Every call, every complaint that's filed has to be checked out. So while they're wasting time on all these false reports, it's tying them up. So when someone's trying to call in a legit complaint about a child being abused or neglected, it could delay that child being saved and taken out of that situation because they're tied up with all these false allegations and false reporting because it was all false. You don't know what you're talking about, and this is pissing me off because you're wrong. Yes, it can be a factor, and it can prevent someone else from getting the help they need at that moment. It can delay it because, like I said, every complaint has to be investigated. You're an idiot, EKC. You're an idiot.
I tried to encourage the end of the mass reporting to CPS, but
Yes.
my attempts were always met with objections.
Yeah, and you
What was
just
the
look at
point
you.
of the call for
How
reporting
can
Andrea
you
to
sit
CPS
here
if
and
Tony
mock all
already knew
this?
that they were involved?
How can you sit here and mock all this? You're a mother. And yes, it will affect, and it could affect and delay another child who's being abused to be saved and taken out of the situation. You're such an idiot. You are such an idiot. And that is true. If there was already an investigation, an open investigation, why did they keep doing the mass false reporting? Do I believe this Tony was talking with a caseworker? They're usually case managers. I pray not. I pray that she's wrong because they're not supposed to be talking to these strangers. Why would she give her her phone number to continue calling her? These are strangers that never, ever met Dre or these children, was never in their presence. They had no idea. They were false reporting. And if this caseworker did join this group and was communicating with these people, then that's a serious issue. That's a serious problem. Because, like I said, they knew nothing. They were strangers. And they're not supposed to do that. And, she may have wanted to see some of the videos that people were calling in about, but they could look them up themselves. They didn't need the Facebook group to do that. I don't know. I question all that.
Oops. Why is an admin of a group so mad at Dre that she has a personal vendetta against her? Question.
And that is true. And you know why? With that stupid look you just gave? Because a couple of these girls worked under Dre. I know I said it earlier in paparazzi, and evidently it didn't work out. So they have a bone to grind, an axe to grind, whatever you want to say, with Dre, because they didn't know Dre. They never met her. They never met those kids. They have no idea what was going on. But they were happy to mass report a bunch of false reports, a bunch of false claims. While there was other legit claims out there that were being delayed to be investigated because of this.
I know it will never be answered. Okay, so yeah, I do have screenshots here.
I'm sure you do.
Almost done.
I hope so.
Come on. There we go.
Oh my goodness, she's so unprepared.
She needs to be stopped. I personally called CPS on her and have the caseworker's direct number, and she's also a member of our group. Why is she so obsessed with mushrooms? Whoa. Mushrooms are awesome.
Okay,
Awesome.
Katie wasn't saying they aren't awesome. She was
She
just
used
asking
them
why.
to fry is like, I don't know. They are good. They are tasty to cook, yes, but that's not why they're awesome. Oh, man.
Okay.
Mushrooms have no protein or nutritional value. They have value.
No, they don't.
They fucking
No,
have
they
value.
don't. No, they don't. And actually, I don't like mushrooms. I think they're nasty. My husband loves them. I don't. But again, Katie just asked her question, but right away you jumped on that thinking Katie didn't like mushrooms, so you're going to go ahead and defend mushrooms. Oh my God, how juvenile. But this caseworker, like I said, if this is all true, which I doubt, she needs to be looked into because that's just wrong. You can't go by the word of a bunch of strangers or a couple haters because they didn't work out with working with Dre on paparazzi selling that jewelry.
The diet she follows isn't just alkaline vegan. It's Dr. CB diet. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah. Over your head, honey, Casey. But see how this girl is trying to
And they can't be
pull
healthy
Katie
for
into
those
this
kids.
crap?
They need protein. They do. So the caseworker is in the group? This is the food list she goes by. Yes. Well, last time I looked, let me go see.
This girl, this Tony, is trying to pull Katie into talking all this crap. And Katie's asking very pointed questions. And she keeps coming back with all this fluff stuff, down in Dre. Say, they have no clue what was really going on. This Tony even admitted she'd never met Dre or them kids. She had no clue.
She is. Okay, so what is CPS doing? No idea. She said they don't do updates. Unless you're family. So they're obviously not sharing information.
Yeah, and she shouldn't have gave her number and been communicating with her either, considering she had no valid information either.
It's almost like the CPS worker is doing their due diligence to learn all she can about this family. Maybe?
No, she's not, because you don't do it by joining a Facebook group of total strangers that are total strangers to the family they're mass reporting on. So no, that's not doing your due diligence. That's actually being reckless, if you ask me, because these people knew nothing. They just were happy to lie and call them false reports.
Right. Because she called me back after my report and asked me a lot of questions. Dr. CP's a fraud. Right. Why is the CPS
See, Katie's
person
not
in the
feeding
group?
into that.
She asked me where she could see the videos, and I explained to her a lot of them are supporter videos, and you have to pay, but people were posting them in the group, so I gave her the name. Not 5 minutes later, she joined. Only I tagged you and a few others. Or, okay, I tagged you and a few others.
Okay,
I'm about
number
to
one, apparently there was nothing there because CPS did nothing. The kids are still with Dre, I'm sure. Nothing came of this. Like I said, I question this because why would she continue calling this Tony and asking her all these questions when Tony never knew Dre or the children? She never witnessed anything.
driving. Okay, wow.
Oh, thank goodness.
Alright, so next, did I go next on here? No, I didn't.
And I'm sorry, but this Tony's nothing but a liar. Because she didn't know nothing. So what could she call and report?
Oh, yeah, only they left. I want to rewind to the very beginning of my coverage of the story. This is being done to show that from the beginning that justice for Vaughn admins were trying to control my reporting and what
That's
information
true.
was put out about the situation. The admins told me that they wanted to protect Letitia and make sure nothing was released without permission. I agreed that I would notify Letitia ahead of time before releasing information. They wanted me to get her permission. On July 7th, Letitia and I made contact for the first time. This was after she had posted the single page of the police report, which indicated Vaughn's injury was due to an attempted S. By this point, she had the full report and read the report to me over a messenger call. Our call lasted for 2 hours and 22 minutes. While we were speaking, Andrea texted Letitia that she had made the decision to allow Letitia to visit Vaughn. Letitia did not respond to this text message while on the phone. It's almost like she was busy on the phone. Letitia also sent me all of her text messages with Andrea about the situation. Andrea had previously told Letitia she wanted to wait until Vaughn
They couldn't control Katie and what Katie was posting. So they wanted to beat her to the punch and post things to run their narrative. That's the truth.
She wanted to wait until Vaughn had gotten over an infection before allowing any visitors.
And
In
that's
her
all
text to
true.
Letitia, she told her that Vaughn's infection.
And she didn't answer because Letitia didn't answer Dre because, not because she was on the phone. She didn't answer Dre because she needed a minute to spin this and make it seem like something it wasn't. Because we seen the messages. Dre wasn't banning her from anywhere. C. diff is a very contagious and can be it's an awful infection, and it's really hard to get control of, and it's very contagious. And also, the virus numbers were high, so Dre did exactly what she said in those messages to Letitia in the first place. As soon as we get things under control, and as soon as they were under control, what did Dre do? She reached out to Letitia, telling her that it was okay now that Vaughn was better and more stable. Instead, Letitia needed time to spin that because she was loving all this money that was coming in. And that's exactly what they did. They spun it to fit their narrative.
And he wasn't as critically ill. While speaking to Letitia, I received a copy of the police report from Yuma PD. We went over the report together, and I got her insight into the situation. We agreed that I would release the report.
But Letitia, see, that's where I fault Katie. Because by this time, well, maybe not when she had this conversation with Letitia, so maybe I'm wrong. Letitia would have had no insight because she wasn't a part of their lives. She didn't know Dre. She didn't know Raza. She didn't know their marriage. She didn't know nothing. I mean, there was like a phone call or something, or 1 or 2 phone calls before this incident happened. Vaughn trying to yet again connect with Letitia even after all she's done to him. But it didn't go no further than that, unfortunately. And and she's going to talk about some Vaughn and Dre, some personal messages that I don't agree should have ever been shared by anybody. Not Katie, not EKC, not Molly, not anybody. Every marriage has its ups and downs. And Vaughn did go to his mother, to his great-grandmother, to his mother. That's his mother. That's who adopted him. He did go up there for 2 weeks. And the whole time he was there, never once did he reach out to his biological family and spend any time with them. So, and then he went back to Dre and his family, his children. And if you have any doubt just go watch their videos, not clips from these other channels. Go watch Dre and Vaughn's videos. You will see the love they had for each other. What happened was on Vaughn. It had nothing to do with Dre. She was not the cause of this. She was not the reason he did this. Unfortunately, Vaughn had suffered mental issues, mental illness for quite a while. Depression, all that. You know, and any psychiatrist will tell you that when someone does this, it's selfish because they don't think about the loved ones and what they're going to go through, that they're leaving behind, and what's going to happen behind it. All they see is they want to end their emotional pain. Sad. It really is sad. And then we got this idiot sitting here mocking all this.
Along with her interview with me. While I was writing out my interview, Justice for Vaughn admins messaged and wanted to know if I was releasing the report. They said they had the report for hours, but didn't intend to release it. However, now people were trying to post this to the group, and they wanted to know when my post would be ready. I kindly asked them to wait until I finished.
So that means that other people had it. It wasn't Katie, EKC. Do you see what you're doing? You're backing up. You're proving the stuff Katie's saying. They wanted to post it because they wanted to control the narrative in it. They couldn't do that if it was Katie. And they even said other people wanted to post it. Go figure.
Letitia and I discussed releasing the report with her interview, and I wanted to honor that request.
Letitia knew this stuff was going to be released. She knew that it was an interview she was doing with Katie, and she knew it was going to be released. But at this time, Molly started going for Katie, and Letitia was getting mad donations for Molly. Lots of money. So, of course, she's going to jump on the Molly train, okay? And dog Katie out, because Molly was dogging Katie out. And this is when people were starting to ask questions and stuff. And also, Katie wasn't buying the crap no more.
It was released on multiple pages and groups. I found this confusing. It felt like they wanted to report out before I could release it. But I didn't make a big deal about it.
And that's exactly what they did, so they could control the narrative. Only it failed.
Why is my mouse doing this again?
Because none of us bought it. Well, you guys did, but the people that actually take the blinders off and look at the facts didn't buy it.
I also released the text messages between Letitia and Dre that Letitia had sent me about hospital visits.
Yeah, the ones you wouldn't read.
That she was open, that she was an open book and had nothing to hide. She had not stated that I couldn't release the messages.
Letitia knew the stuff was going to be released. She knew.
She had not stated that I could not release the messages she sent to me. And she understood our interview was on the record. That's some fucked up shit.
How?
I posted the text between them.
How is that effed up shit? Please tell me how. Letitia did an interview. She knew Katie was doing an interview with her. She knew that it was being recorded. She knew that Katie was a YouTuber. She knew that it was all going to be posted. How's that effed up? Please tell me how it's effed up.
Within an hour, admin from Justice for Vaughn asked me to remove the post with the text. They claimed Letitia wasn't happy. Yeah, because you didn't get her permission first.
Number one, she didn't need her permission. Number two, yes, she did. Letitia gave the interview. She knew what was what. Stop. You really are... Be nice, Kathy. Be nice, Kathy. You're really ridiculous. You're really, really ridiculous. She wanted to control the narrative. Letitia came out with this narrative from the get-go. Came out the gate with misinformation and asking for money.
She sent me a screenshot of Letitia in a group chat with admins about the text. The text showed that Letitia was not banned from seeing Vaughn. People began questioning Letitia's story.
And that's all true.
To reduce harassment of Letitia, I removed the post. The very next day, the admin and Justice for Vaughn released the same exact text that I posted the day before.
they got Katie to remove the post so that by this time Molly was heavy in it, and Letitia was in with Molly and these admins, and they wanted to control the narrative to make Dre the bad guy. They didn't want people to see the real truth out of the messages. They wanted people to think that it was all Dre, and Dre was this evil person keeping Letitia from her son, and that wasn't the case. Not at all. Now, after all this continued, and Letitia continued to co-sign all the hate and doxing and harassment on Dre and her family, yeah, I would ban her too. Sorry. But up before that, she wasn't banned. And we seen that in the messages. But that's what Letitia wanted to control. So they could make Dre look like the bad guy. And this idiot here, she can't see nothing.
I reached out asking why they had done that, given that Letitia didn't want them out. They said that people had seen the text before. I deleted. They wanted to put them out and calm people down. Their post
how's that going to calm people down? They wanted to spin it.
These messages to Letitia blackmail. They got the first chance to run narrative on this shit instead of me. It's wrong.
It was wrong because Katie wasn't running a narrative that Dre was blackmailing Letitia. She was showing the truth in the messages where once Vaughn was stable from the infections, then people would be allowed to see him because it was dangerous for Vaughn, not just them, but for Vaughn. And as soon as he was stable, Dre did exactly what she said she would. She reached out to Letitia. So again, EKC, what is your point?
They said Dre was blackmailing Letitia
And that's exactly what they said. And it wasn't blackmail.
In exchange that Letitia see Vaughn. That is kind of fucked up to hold someone's kid ransom like that. I don't care.
Wow, you're a bigger idiot than I thought you were. Nobody held Vaughn for ransom. She wasn't blackmailed. God. Oh, the stupidity.
Right.
Oh, now she's going to beat up her mouse because it's not working. Here we go. More silence. Do you know that you're supposed to do commentary? Do you know you're supposed to talk to your chat? Just asking. I mean, I'm new at this, and I wouldn't sit there and ignore my chat like you do. I fast-forwarded through some of this because I don't want to get into some of the stuff she wants to read about Vaughn and Dre's personal stuff.
There are 4 convictions. And, all right, we're at the beginning. Okay. And that was the last screenshot I had. All right.
She's lost again. You confuse yourself.
Like, this is the last post. It looks like it's just a couple of screenshots. Right.
You really confused yourself.
Andrea McRae filed a police report.
See, I don't understand why this is even... I don't think Katie should have put this out, and I don't think EKC should be sitting here reading it. This has nothing whatsoever to do with what happened with Vaughn. You know, and I'm not okay with it.
Against her chiropractor, Dr. Dan, whatever, for SH. She alleged that Dr.
EKC's okay with this kind of stuff. I'm going to try to fast forward a little bit, but I'm right at the end, so it's going to be hard.
That Dr. Dan allegedly approached her about swinging with his wife. The facts. Dr. Dan has had his license revoked in 2 states for unprofessional conduct and criminal convictions.
Can just a little bit.
He was a chiropractor. Why is he being called?
Because some people call them doctors, you idiot.
Sentenced to probation, and his license was suspended for
I tried to fast forward through a little bit of it. I'll try a little bit more. Okay, here we go. I'm not reading these messages
But
about
the
Vaughn
thought
and
of me
Dre.
wanting to
I'm
go now
not.
is why she did what she did.
I'm
I
trying to
told her
fast
I'm
forward
not
through 'em. I
determined
think
to
it's
go.
wrong.
But she said if I do go, I like Trouble and Sorry too. My mom and I used to play those.
Okay, so who cares? I just fast forward through that. I don't want to read those personal. I don't think those should have been ever posted by anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know why it recorded like this at the end, but there's this statement she makes at the end that just really, really ticks me off.
And a friend of his, and it involved, it'll break your heart. Like, I know that Katie shared that audio that one time, but like,
Of course,
this
it's always
is
got to be
right
Katie's
after
fault. Damn, Katie, you to blame for everything. In her little mind.
All right, let's do it for now.
Her little twisted mind. Because it's twisted with hate. And ridiculousness. But the points that she did make were few and far between. And really, there wasn't any.
So I'll take one course each in medical school and become one big
She
doctor.
says more about Dre than Katie. I don't get it.
Collective knowledge. The problem with that, though, is that as you progress in medical school, you kind of need the previous knowledge to understand the upcoming knowledge, I think. Like,
You think?
your third year medical
Wow.
school, you're not going to really know what's going on if you didn't take the first two, right? I think. I would think.
Don't think
I bet
hard.
we could do that with the law, though.
No, you couldn't.
I bet
No,
we
you
could totally
couldn't.
do that with the law. We should.
No, you couldn't.
We should all become one big attorney.
Oh my God, could you imagine
I like
EKC
that
a
idea.
lawyer?
It's a good idea, Slippery.
Oh, no. That's a scary thought.
She was super controlling. I couldn't watch Dre for more than a minute. She immediately made me feel icky. Yeah, this is kind of the impression I got, too, from her. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't blame her for where Vaughn ended up. I mean, because like I've said before, a lot of people are in controlling relationships.
But there's a
or
but.
abusive relationships. Most people don't end up taking that exit door, I guess you could say.
Number
people
one, it wasn't an abusive relationship. You're an idiot. You're really an idiot.
I feel you kind of need to have something else going on inside of you for that
Exactly.
to be an option for you to take that option. So I don't blame Dre for what
But-
Vaughn did, but
Told you there's a but.
I mean,
What? She
what I do
what?
blame her for is how he felt leading up to that, because it doesn't seem like she listened to him at all, and it seems like even now she's doubling down and shit, and she's fighting it. Like, I get it. The guilt has to be. It has to be too much. It has to be. I get it, but hopefully someday she's able to handle it and face facts.
What did you just say? Are you freaking kidding me? What guilt? What facts does she have to face? She didn't cause this. Vaughn had his own things going on. All you have to do is watch some of their videos and see the love they have for each other. Yes, she did listen to him. But Vaughn had other things in his head. You're an idiot, EKC, for even saying that. All you did was sit here and try to mock Katie like a little juvenile little girl. But in reality, you were mocking Vaughn and Dre. Because you didn't point Katie. I don't know what point you were making about Katie. But for you to sit here and say that about Dre, someone you did know and know nothing about, because we clearly know you know nothing, is just beyond. Is just beyond. Just, I have nothing else. I can't with this one. This one is beyond. Whoa. But anyway, guys. Well, I'm going to end this here. It's been a long one. I'm sorry that it's such a long one. But, let me know what you think in the comments. Do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe. I'm trying to get my subs up. And I'm so appreciative for everybody that has subbed and watches my content. Can't thank you enough. But again, please hit that like button and subscribe. And let me know what you think in the comments. And I am sorry for this. I know the two-part thing, it's just a long, boring live. But I think it did at least refresh us on a lot of facts in this story and how bad it really was, how they lied through their teeth. But in this thing here, I have no more words for her. I just have nothing anymore. There's nothing there with her. I mean, it's like empty up there. But again, hit that like button and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.